What's going on, everyone? So, Victor Oladipo is trying to make a comeback. He is trying to work his way back. He's been doing tryouts and stuff during Summer League, and supposedly it looks great. So, per reports that came out from Jeremy Woo, Victor Oladipo is seeking an NBA comeback and has been impressing teams during his workout. The two-time All-Star, 33, was part of a well-attended private workout in Las Vegas on Monday morning with a large contingent of NBA and European teams attending. Oladipo played full court 5-on-5 in group workouts of international pros. Multiple team sources in attendance came away impressed with Oladipo, described as being in excellent shape as he pursues another comeback. Let me start this by saying, if the Lakers can get Bradley Beal, I'd rather get Bradley Beal, right? Victor Oladipo's probably lowest on my totem pole right now. I mean, obviously, we don't know how good he looked in workouts. And you got to keep in mind, this was a guy that was like a legit two-way player. Problem is, he hasn't played since the 2022-2023 season. So it's been a couple years since he played, 3 years to be exact, or it's going to be 3 years to be exact. So that kind of has some concerns with me. But if he's healthy and he's in shape and he can be anywhat of a resemblance of his old self, that could be some value, right? Talk about a guy that could be a legit kind of, point of attack, aggressive kind of, defensive, offensive guard. I'd rather get a Bradley Beal or something like that because one, he's a guy that just is played and, you know what you're going to get from him. But I wouldn't hate taking Oladipo on a flyer. Right? Like if the Lakers ended up doing it, this is kind of more of just like, hey, he's available. What do you guys think? More of just a conversational piece than anything. But to me, I'd rather go like DeAnthony Melton, right? Like Bradley Beal, right? There's probably like three or four guys to put ahead of him. But Oladipo over like a Malcolm Brogdon, right? Malcolm Brogdon, it's like, how many games is he going to play? Yeah, you could say the same thing about Oladipo, but do you kind of go with the upside, right? If Oladipo gets back to being that guy, the upside is greater, right? Like once you get through like a DeAnthony Melton and like a Bradley Beal, like that starts to drop, right? I would like a Joshua Okogie, but I look at him more kind of suited as Lakers, like a backup three, like 2-3 kind of guy. Oladipo's the guy that I'd be looking at as like the bucket getter off the bench. You gotta keep in mind, Lakers bench was so terrible. I mean, they were one of the worst benches on the basketball last year, right? So if Oladipo come off the bench and even give you 10 points a night on average, right? Like that's more than what you were getting off the bench this past year. And look, he was a hooper, right? Even the last year he played, right? Last year he played with Miami. He averaged 11 points, 3 rebounds, 3.5 assists, 1.5 steals, and half a block, right? And 42 games. Now, he didn't play in the 2023-2024 season because of injuries, right? So he was injured, working his way back. So he might have played last year if he wasn't injured. So that's something that's worth mentioning of like, he didn't just play because he was trash or didn't play because he was trash and teams didn't want him. It was because, again, he was dealing with injuries, trying to fight back with injuries. Now he's looked to be healthy and in shape, ready to kind of prove himself and get back into the league. So again, that's important context for a team. But again, he played 42 games, started in 2 of them, played 26.3 minutes per game, got just under 10 attempts, 9.6. He was 33% from three-point range, which wasn't good. But the previous year in Miami, on 4.5 attempts from three-point range, he was 42% from three-point range. 54.1% from two-point range on 4.6 attempts, EFG of 58.2%, free throw shooting of 74%. He grabbed 3 rebounds, 3.5 assists, a steal, half a block, and on just under 13 points, 12.5 points, right? So again, like if he could do something like that off the bench for you, sounds pretty good to me, right? Like again, to me, it's like, okay, would somebody like Oladipo be better to take a chance on than somebody like a Malcolm Brogdon? Is basically what I'm getting at, right? Like again, if DeAnthony Melton or a Bradley Beal, if you could get one of those guys, then yes, I'd rather go get those guys. But let's say Bradley Beal ends up signing with the Clippers, and then DeAnthony Melton ends up signing with the Warriors. Now you're starting to get to like, okay, like who's left? Yeah, you go with Gary Payton II, but he's not going to give you the offense, right? Like Oladipo, there is that potential where if he's bought in and engaged, which you'll probably get a very motivated, very hungry, very like, I can prove myself Oladipo, that it might be worth the gamble and worth the risk. And it's like, hey, as long as he can give you the games, right? Like, that's the problem, is like you're taking a risk, but you'd be taking a risk with any of these guys, right? After the top like 2 or 3 guys, everyone else is a risk. Everyone else comes with some baggage or comes with some injury issues or comes with something. But who's the highest upside guy? Who's the guy that has the highest potential for a team? I think it's Oladipo, right? Not over DeAnthony Melton, not over a Bradley Beal, but over guys like Malcolm Brogdon and Gary Payton II and these guys. Again, like, and those guys are all the same age as Victor Oladipo. So it's not like, well, yeah, but, Gary Payton's only, 24, right? Like, no, they're all in their 30s. So to me, even that is like, okay, well, like, you can't even use the age argument. It's like, so to me, it's like, okay, who has the potential to be the best player available at that point? And I think Oladipo might be that if he is really as healthy and looks as good. The problem is, like, we don't have footage of that tape. And even then, even if we do, even if that does surface at some point, right? Like, it's not going to be fully telling, right? He's running it against like international prospects, stuff like he's just kind of out there just hooping, right? Like, I don't hate the idea of bringing him in on like a training camp invite where if he's balling out, he makes the main roster, right? Like, especially if you have a guy, like a Shake Milton still, or let's say you have a 15th roster spot, right? Let's say you have a guy like that and you bring him in on a training camp invite and you're like, hey, this is your chance. If you ball out, we'll give you that 15 spot. Maybe you sign him to a non-guaranteed deal. So that way, if you need to at any point, you can just cut him. Right? Like, I don't hate the idea, especially if you're kind of mitigating your risks. Right? If you're the Lakers and you're kind of, navigating that, like, why not? Bring him in. See what he can do. What's the worst case? Worst case, he's, the 15th guy on the bench. Probably going to have that anyway. Right? Like, it's possible Malcolm Brogdon's that because he's just out all season because he's hurt. Or one of these other guys, right? Like, you're going to have to take some risks and some gambles. So, like, why not take a risk and a gamble on a guy in Victor Oladipo that the last 2 seasons he played gave you 11, 3, and 4, and then, 13, 3, and 4, right? Like, it's not bad with, like, a steal and a half per game. He can be aggressive, play some defense. He's going to be bought in. He's going to be engaged. He's going to be focused. Like, why not? It's just kind of my thoughts. But, we'll see. Anyway, again, it's kind of more just, talking through guys that are available. And, his name came across. And I was like, oh, hey, what about Oladipo? So let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.